All right, this one's going to be a crazy one. So strap yourselves in. We're talking about Will of the Emperor, okay? 25 man. Personally, I feel this one's way overtuned, way too tightly tuned in terms of healing requirements. After doing 10 man, it's just, it's not even close to that tight on 10 man. But on 25 man, you need a very distinct strategy going into this healing wise. We're going to talk about it now. Hopefully shed some light on it for you guys. Talk about both sides of the equation here. And might as well just get right into it, huh? What are we waiting for? I don't know. Now, first on the plate, got to assess which role you're in. Okay, talking about healing this fight, you're going to need essentially to split the healing core in half. I'm saying 6 heals is probably the only way you can do this. You got 5 badass healers, go ahead and do it. One way or the other, think of it this way. You got your tank healers and you got your raid healers. The job of the tank healers is to get globals to both tanks every single cast. Okay? Never do anything other than that unless you're in one of the phases that we're going to talk about. But always, always, always heal the tanks. They are going to be getting crushed in 25 man. Absolutely obliterated. Raid healers. What you're going to do is you're going to be running around chasing the freaking tank the ad tank, the melee DPS, kiting the rages, the ranged, kiting the rages. Anybody needing healing, you're just going to be running around. More importantly, you're going to be playing a very crucial role if built properly. You're going to be giving mana to the healers healing the tank. Okay, so we're going to talk about both roles right now. Okay, so if you're looking at this from a raid perspective, first of all, if you're looking to split up healers, what I would recommend is putting essentially your 3 best single target healers healing the tank. What we did was we did 2 Pallies and a Discipline Priest. I personally feel 2 Pallies is the only real approach to this because of double beacon. It's going to make it a lot more comfortable to heal, but it's still going to be a real bitch. Okay, you could probably do 2 Discipline Priests and 1 Holy Pally. That would work just as well. But anything other than that, like any other combo that doesn't include like Pallies and Discipline Priests, you're going to struggle, okay? Tell you why. You just don't have the throughput per second to keep up tanks getting hit for that spike damage. No joke, I'm looking at the logs last night. We got a tank getting a hit for a 473k with 1 swing. He's got 539k health. That's 90% of his health. And you got to heal that back up before it gets hit again, you know? It's crazy. It's just an insane healing fight. So, single target, we'll talk about this first. Okay, I'm a healer. On purple is one boss. On red is the other boss. Okay, I'm a pally healer. I got my beacon on the left side, healing on the right side. We got our other healer doing the opposite. And then we got our third healer basically doing both. Okay, so once again, it's interchangeable. You'll want to put one healer on one tank, another healer on another tank, and then the third is going to do both. I'd recommend either a Discipline Priest or Holy Pally, obviously, as they can do both easily, shield both, penance one, heal the other, etc. So that's that. Just heal them every freaking global, okay? It's straightforward, but you're going to be like, oh, Lord, why do I need a guide for this? You do, trust me, if you haven't done this on 25, man, you'll be like, oh my god, the tank gets absolutely obliterated. It's insane. He needs a global healed every time. Every single time, okay? There's going to be 2 main sub-phases to this bit. Okay, the boss is going to be there. A tank is going to have to dodge the abilities. That's on the tank. We're not talking about that. I'm assuming he dodges, I'd say, at least 90% of them. Okay, so what I would recommend, first things first. If you have reduction, so if you're a Holy Pally, I really recommend doing Clemency with for double hand sack, because you're going to need, between the 2 Holy Pallies, we used every sack we had, always. Okay, here's how it's going to work. Tank's going to be getting hit, then the guy's going to start doing his like series of attacks, right, that the guy's got to dodge, the tank's got to dodge. During that time, it's time to do a little regen. Don't don't go crazy, but this is the only window you have to try to get any type of healing, like to try to get any type of regen going, because he's about to get crushed. Let's just put it that way. All right. So first things you gotta look for. You want to save early. You really do, because this is going to be a long, long fight. And if you don't save early, you're going to be in a lot of trouble later. I would recommend using one Hand of Sack early. Okay. Other than that, if you're a disciplined priest, you're doing this, you want to keep pain suppression for the gas phases. And you would want to try to coordinate that with your other healers to make sure that, because pain suppression is not going to be up for everyone. It's going to be an awkward time. It's going to come off. So you want to try to coordinate that. You want to make sure you use it at the right time. Just realize that there's like a phase A and B for this part, right? There's going to be the part where the boss is actually hitting the tank, and then there's going to be a part where he's literally not taking damage, 0 damage. So it's going to be mass healing, and then stop for like 10, 15 seconds, whatever it is. Let's see. I know exactly how long it is because it's, 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds in between those attacks to get a little bit of mana back. So first things first, talking about regen, okay? You'll want to use things like Divine Plea, any type of regen. That's when I'm popping a potion, concentration potion when I need it. But other than that, for the main phase where the boss is just hitting, like, the main bit, not Titan Gas phase, you just got to dump every heal into the tank. I can't stress this enough. You cannot miss a heal. You need everything you have on them. Full shields. You want to stack Mastery as a pally. Keep Eternal Flame on both tanks. I mean, just heal the hell out of them. But you can't overspend. You're going to want to. I swear to God, it's going to look crazy. Like, the tank's going to get hit for damn near 100% of his health sometimes. Especially if he does miss, like, an attack and gets a few stacks of those armor debuffs. It's going to be scary. I'm not joking with you, man. Like, it may sound stupid listening to me say this, but it's going to be scary. I was sweating doing this fight. Just got to keep your cool, though. You got to realize that between the three of you, as long as you all hit with the global, he'll get healed back up. Don't overspend. Don't pop a flash heal just because it looks like he needs it. Just stay calm and stick to the plan. If he dies and you stick to the plan, then it's not your fault. It's just unfortunate. There's going to be some RNG here. So that's the first bit. Remember, heal when the tank's getting hit. When he's not getting hit, try to do a bit of regen. Plain and simple, but it's intense. Okay, so we're still talking main phase here, non-Titan Gas phase. I got two sides marked up. Okay, we got blue and we got green. This is from the perspective of the raid healer now. Okay, plain and simple. Your job as a raid healer, heal the people that aren't the tanks, and just keep the pressure off the healers that are healing the tanks. What I mean is, it's stressful to heal the tanks this way. This is a very stressful position because of how much damage they take per hit when they're getting hit. So I've had this happen to me personally. I see a mage who's gotten like hit by 2 or 3 rages at the same time. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta heal him. I don't need to see that. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to. I can't heal him. I can't do it because if I take my heals away from the tank, he's going to die. He will die. Unless you get lucky. Trust me. This is going to happen. Especially in the gear levels we're in now. So as a raid healer, just keep the pressure off. Don't let anyone fall low. Make sure you get everyone healed up. You're going to be doing a lot of running around. So these positions are definitely best filled by shaman, druids, and monks. If you have a second priest, so if you have perhaps 2 holy pallies and 2 priests, or like 3 priests or something like that, just send one out here. They could help out. But this is definitely druids, shamans, and monks. Definitely the easiest. We have 2 shamans. One of them is Jesse Cox, if you didn't know that. But essentially what you need to do from this perspective is just heal the ad tanks. There's going to be a DPS tanking the ad. They get heals. And any raid who gets hit by rage is quite straightforward. Much, much easier role than the tank healers. Now, one way you could help relieve the stress is some type of restorative cooldown rotation. So as I said, we have 2 shamans. Jesse's going to drop his Mana Tide. It's a 12-minute fight, essentially. So he's going to drop his Mana Tide as soon as he can. Like, as soon as the tank is in position and getting hit, might as well drop it. Because it's going to be back up again many, many times. The more it's up, the better it is. So even if the first one seems a little wasted, you want to do a rotation. You got 2 shamans. Jesse drops his. Then, our next shaman drops his next time. And they just rotate. We got priests doing divine hymn or whatever. Druids tossing out stuff. But one way or the other, just got to keep your tank healers in mana, if possible. If you don't have that option, I mean, surely you have at least one shaman, right? They have to use it. The shaman has to, you have to use Mana Tide many times, at least 4 times a fight, if possible. You know, at least 3. But that's it for the healing for the first phase. Now we're going to talk about how it all culminates and gets progressively worse, especially going into Titan Gas. Okay, so you've made it this far. Barring any massive tank error or, you know, anything crazy, everything should be pretty calm for the main phase. Where it gets really crazy, here we go. Titan Gas. What's going to happen is, room is going to fill with, it's going to turn yellow. Don't worry about what it does. Does tons of damage. Okay, flat out damage. Time for a reduction. Okay, we got Aura Mastery. We have, you know, Spirit Link. We have Trank. We have everything needs to be popped. Need a rotation. Plain and simple, need a rotation. Okay, don't even try to approach these phases without a rotation. You can do it, but you are going to spend so much mana doing it that you're just not going to be able to finish this fight. I won't lie about that. Okay, so definitely an Aura Mastery. If you have 2 Pallies, 1 from each, every other phase. You got Rep Pallies, have them fucking use it. You have Shamans, have them drop what they have. You know, just basically everyone stacks up on yellow. I'm throwing down the hammer, you know, one of my favorite spells. Just throwing that down, but once again, from the perspective of a tank healer, the tank is going to get hit even harder. Guess what? He's going to get hit even harder, right? So this is the time you want to pop cooldowns. I'm talking hand to sack, pain suppression, 5-minute cooldowns, okay? Throughput cooldowns, anything you have. Because this tank is going to get fucking obliterated when he actually gets hit. So there's, once again, phase like A and B of this subphase. Tank might not be getting hit when the gas starts, so you don't want to pop everything knowing the tank isn't getting hit. If you have 10 seconds on the dodge bit where he has to move around dodging the abilities, you have some time. One way or the other, you got to line it up. Need a hand to sack on both tanks, absolutely, or in some type of reduction on both tanks. They need to be popping shield wall, stuff like that. Hopefully they know that, but just throw down any passive AoE you have. What I recommend is trying to build up some holy power coming into this phase so you can throw out Lights of Dawns without actually having to heal someone other than the tank. The raid healers in this role, they're going to just go ahead and heal the raid straight up. Good time for Spirit Link Totem, Healing Tide Totem, Tranquility. Just heal the raid. Just keep the raid alive and make sure the freaking tank healers don't have to worry about it straight up. That's pretty much it. Titan Gas phase is just burst damage on everyone, and since the tank is also taking that damage, then taking melee hits, this is where the 470k global hits come in. It's scary, very scary. So keep ahead of it. Make sure you have a hand to sack on both tanks as much as possible. I would definitely recommend rotating 3-minute cooldowns, 5-minute cooldowns. You could use them twice in this fight if you do it right. So it's going to happen once every minute and a half-ish. So that's pretty much it. It's just rinse and repeat from there. Talk about how to wrap this fight up, though. Might as well just look at that from every perspective. Okay, so you've made it through most of the fight. Okay, I don't know exactly how far guilds are getting in this, but I assume you're getting to the bit where the ads continue to spawn. Okay, that's the scary part, because Titan Gas is out, ads continue to spawn, and your raid's basically just in a frenzy trying to burn the boss before it dies, before everyone dies. Ways you can help with that, just try to keep the DPS alive first. It might sound dumb, but if a healer dies, it's not the end of the world. If you lose a few DPS, it's over. It really is. You won't have enough. Same with tanks. Keep them up. Good idea, lay on hands. Bubble yourself just to be able to get a few extra heals in. But it's kind of just an all-out frenzy. There's not really much I could tell you about here. If you get that far, if the boss is still alive by then, which I imagine a lot of 25-man groups are having that, you just gotta play it smart. Throw everything you still have out. You know what I mean? Do what you can. Make sure you guys have like mages rooting the ads so they're not killing people, but it's just a frenzy. In terms of general tips that I can give you for this fight, I mean, I've said this so many times, but you have to play. You have to spend at the right times. You can't overspend. If I could do a checklist, number 1 on this fight would be resist the urge to use flash heal or flash a light, whatever. You don't need it. You really don't. It's going to look like you do. That's why I'm trying to make such a big deal about it. It's really going to look like you do. And maybe you will at some point. I don't know. You have to figure that out yourself between your raid healer, your tank healers. But you have to resist the urge. If I can go, what I essentially put in my mind is, if I can cast Holy Light, I have Beacon on the left, Holy Right, I don't ever have to cast another spell in the main phase. That should be enough, because you have 2 healers, 2 globals going to him guaranteed every time, and then the Discipline Priest throwing bubbles and healing as well. Every other global, essentially. That should be enough. But it's not going to feel like it is sometimes. You're going to see the freaking tank. You're going to see him have a bubble on, mastery on, and that freaking boss is just going to put his fist right through that bubble and right into that dude's faceplate, and he's going to get hit for like 400k, and you're going to be like, no, no, no. It's just going to freaking throw you off your rocker. It's going to be insane. You're going to fall out of your chair at some point. Swear to God, I was sweating while I healing this fight for the first time. Just stay calm. Just keep the heals going at the tanks and stay calm. It's not as big of a deal as it looks like it is when it's happening, but it is definitely the most stressful fight I have ever healed. By far, the most stressful normal mode encounter I have ever healed. Ever. 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 I don't know why they made it this tight. Like I said, 1 missed global, the tank missing, getting 1 stack of armor, it is over. Tank will die. So just stay ahead. You guys are good. I know you know what to do, but just try to stay ahead. That's all I could say. So it's an interesting fight. If you guys have actual, detailed questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Other than that, thanks for listening to me talk. I'm looking forward to Heart of Fear. We're going to be doing those, some heroics, Mogu'shan, stuff like that. So we'll get more videos out like that. But either way, best of luck with this fight, man. It's intense from a certain perspective.